So let's come back to our example. We have already skimmed our headings and our subheadings. Let's go in and take a closer look at the paragraphs. We're going to quickly read the first sentence of each paragraph. So when we zoom in, we can just come along here. Okay. Absence from work is a costly and disruptive problem for any organization. Okay. So that gives us a basic idea of it here. And with your introduction, you may want to read the first and last. Most of your paragraphs, just the first is fine. But our introductory paragraph often has a little more general information that we want to know. So if we skim through here, I see Prince William Hospital in Australia, and measure, understand, or manage occurrence of absenteeism. Okay, so that gives us more idea. Where is this study taking place? Let's move to the next paragraph. Okay, so prevalent attitude amongst many nurses in the group selected for study was that there was no reward or recognition for not utilizing paid sick leave entitlement. Okay, got the main idea here. Let's go. Next paragraph. Miller and Norton, 1986. That's the name of a study. It was a survey. 865 nursing personnel, 73% felt they should be rewarded for not taking sick leave. Okay, we got the main idea. Let's go to the next one. In another longitudinal study of nurses working in 2 Canadian hospitals, Hackett, BCO, and Gleon. Maybe I'm saying their names incorrectly, but that's okay. When you see these names in the readings, you don't have to know how to pronounce them. In the reading section, you never have to say it, so don't worry about it. So we've got this study. Let's see, reasons why nurses took absence from work. Okay, we can come back to that if we need more detail. Okay, our method. Let's see. An attempt to reduce the level of absenteeism amongst the 250 registered and enrolled nurses. Prince William Management introduced 3 different but potentially complementary strategies over 18 months. Okay, so this is how they did the study. Strategy 1, non-financial material incentives. Let's see. It was not possible to use hospital funds to support this strategy. Secure incentives from local businesses. Okay, so we've got the basic idea. They're giving them some kind of material objects to motivate them to not take their days off. So the flexible fair rostering, where possible, staff were given the opportunity to determine their working schedule. Okay, so that's the second one. 3, each month, managers would analyze the pattern of absence of staff with excessive sick leave, greater than 10 days per year. Okay, we can come back to that if we need some more detail. Results. Here's what they found out. So absence rates for the 6 months prior to the incentive scheme ranged from 3.69% to 4.32%. This looks like we need a little more information to get the main idea here. So the following 6 months, that's where they started. The following 6 months, they ranged between 2.87% and 3.96%. Oh, so we saw it went down. Let's skip down to the bottom of this. Significant decrease in absence over the 2-year period could not be demonstrated. Okay, so they've got some mixed results. Let's look at the discussion. So non-financial incentive, the incentive scheme, did appear to assist in controlling absenteeism in the short term. Okay, so that sort of worked. Let's keep going. So we see mixed results and long-term effects of incentive awards on absenteeism are questionable. Okay, let's keep going. Over the time of the study, staff were given a larger degree of control in their rosters. Significant improvements in communication. A similar effect was found from the third strategy. But if we skip down to the bottom, usually had a negative effect on management-employee relationships. Again, we're looking at some mixed results there. Their conclusion. So some decrease in absence rates. No single strategy or combination of strategies has had a significant impact on absenteeism per se. If we come down to the bottom, let's see. Increase the ability of management to manage the effects of absenteeism more effectively since this study. So we've got a number of main ideas here. Okay, so let's look at the questions then. Our first section here has our yes, no, or not given questions. Remember, we have not given as a choice. That means sometimes they didn't talk about this thing in the article that we read. Now, from the skimming that we did, that fast read, we can already answer some of these questions. If we look at number 1, the Prince William Hospital has been trying to reduce absenteeism among nurses for many years. Okay, we read about that, right? Prince William Hospital. Okay, we know that one's yes. Here, nurses in the Prince William Hospital study believed there were benefits in taking as little sick leave as possible. I think that was the second paragraph, and they said no, they should take as much leave as they are allowed. So we already know this one is a no. When we get to number 3, just over half the nurses in the 1986 study believed that management understood the effects that shift work had on them. I don't think we read that, but we did see some studies. Let's go back. Let's find a 1986 study. So if we go back here, before the results, before those strategies. Oh, here's a 1989 study. That's not it. Keep going back. 1986. So here's our study. We know where to read now. Okay. 67% of nurses felt that administration was not sympathetic to the problems shift work causes to employees' personal and social lives. That answers the question, right? Let's look at that again. So back to our question. Just over half the nurses in the 1986 study believed that management understood the effects. No, they just said they were not sympathetic. They didn't understand those. We got the answer now. We went back and we found it. We knew right where it was. Question number 4 also. The Canadian study found that illness in the family was a greater cause of absenteeism than work to do at home. We saw something about Canadian hospitals, right? Let's go back there. And here it is. So Canadian hospitals, we didn't read that thing, but we found the paragraph. So the most frequent reason stated for absence was minor illness to self. Other causes in decreasing order of frequency. So the first ones are the most. were illness and family, family social function, work to do at home, and bereavement. Okay, we found that answer. So we see, when we look at the question again, illness in the family was a greater cause of absenteeism than work to do at home. Yeah, we saw that. They had that listed first. So illness in the family was greater. That's a yes. So you see, if you use this strategy, you can go through some of those answers you can get just from that short, fast reading, just reading the first sentence, and sometimes the last sentence in the introduction, for example, and maybe the final paragraph. But we know where to look for the others. You will have to go back, but we can find it quickly now. We know where it's going to be. Let's look at our next questions. So here we have to fill in the blank, choose one or two words from the passage. We have to use the words that they used. We will have to go back, but look, we can guess where this is very quickly. In the first strategy, remember we highlighted that? Wards with the lowest absenteeism in different periods would win prizes donated by blank. So if we go back there, strategy 1, it was possible to secure incentives from local businesses. So those are the words that we need to use there. Okay, so we will fill in there with local businesses. When we go through the other questions, we'll be able to find those really quickly too. In the second strategy, we'll just go back to that paragraph that talks about that in the third strategy. And this is going to be in the results section. We can just go back there and we find them pretty quickly after that. So this is a strategy that should save you some time on your reading section. You can get some of those answers right away. The other answers, you go back and you know right where it is. Try working with this strategy in your practice. I think it'll work for you. So let's give it a try. Good luck.